There's something you've been meaning to do. Maybe it's a project, maybe it's a phone call you've been avoiding, maybe it's going to the gym, starting that business, fixing that relationship, cleaning up your room, applying for that job. You know exactly what it is. You've known for a while. And every single day you wake up and tell yourself, today I'm going to do it. And then today turns into tonight, tonight turns into tomorrow, tomorrow turns into next week, and next week quietly becomes next year. That's procrastination. And it's not just a bad habit. For a lot of people, it's a way of life. And they don't even realize it until years have passed and they're still in the same place and still carrying the same things they never got around to doing. I've been there. I am that person. And this is the conversation I wish someone had with me a long time ago. Most people think procrastination is an adult problem, something that shows up when you have bills and responsibilities and too much on your plate. But it doesn't start there. It starts as a kid, way earlier than most people realize. Think about it. You're in school, you get assigned a project, it's due in 2 weeks, and what do? Nothing. For a week and a half. Because 2 weeks feels like forever when you're a kid, and the deadline is so far away it doesn't feel real. Then day 13 hits, and suddenly it's very real. And you're up until midnight throwing something together that you're not proud of, handing it in stressed and exhausted, telling yourself you'll never do that again. And it's similar to how when you were younger and your project is due the next day and you go up to your mom and you tell her, hey mom, I need a glue stick, I need a poster board. Can we please go to the dollar store and grab that? And then you do it again, every single time. That's the pattern. And the scary thing is, nobody really corrects it. Your teachers give you the grade, your parents see you scrambling and maybe tell you to manage your time better, but nobody actually sits you down and says, hey, this thing you're doing right now, this is going to follow you. This is going to show up in your career, in your relationships, in every goal you ever set for yourself if you don't deal with it. So you grow up and you carry it with you. In high school, it looks like leaving essays to the last minute, cramming for exams the night before, avoiding conversations you should have had weeks ago. In university, it looks like skipping the lecture, telling yourself you'll watch it online, stacking assignments until the week before finals feels like a war zone, starting your dissertation 3 days before it's due and running on caffeine and anxiety. And then you graduate, and you think, okay, now I'll be different, now it's real life, now it matters, I'll sort myself out. But the habits don't disappear just because the setting changes. At work, it looks like pushing tasks to the end of the day, responding to emails you should have sent last week, avoiding that difficult conversation with your manager, putting off the project that matters most because it feels too big to start. In your personal life, it looks like you're telling your family you'll call them soon for 3 months in a row. You'll FaceTime them soon, you'll come visit them soon. But knowing your relationship needs work, but convincing yourself it'll sort itself out. Wanting to get healthier, but starting Monday for the past 6 Mondays. And here's the cruelest part about procrastination that nobody talks about. The thing you're avoiding doesn't go away. It just sits there in the background, taking up mental space, creating a quiet, low-level stress that follows you around everywhere you go. You're not relaxing when you're procrastinating, you're just delaying the anxiety and making it bigger. The email doesn't disappear. The project doesn't disappear. The conversation doesn't disappear. They just get heavier the longer you leave them. Now here's something that changed the way I think about this. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's not a character flaw. It's not because you're stupid or weak or incapable. It's fear. Every single time you put something off, there's a reason underneath it. And usually that reason is one of these. You're afraid of failing, so you don't start, because you can't fail at something you never really tried. You're afraid of it not being perfect, so you wait until the conditions are exactly right, which they never are, and that becomes your excuse to never begin. Similar to this channel, I've waited way too long to start this. I've waited way too long to take that first step. And now, here I am. So it's living proof that if I can do it, you can do it. You're overwhelmed. The thing feels so big that your brain doesn't know where to start. So it doesn't start at all. It just shuts down and reaches for something easier. Or you just genuinely don't know how. And instead of admitting that and figuring it out, you avoid it entirely because the not knowing feels embarrassing. I've felt all of these multiple times, sometimes all in the same day. And the moment I stopped calling myself lazy and started asking what I was actually afraid of, everything started to shift. I want you to think about one thing you've been putting off for a long time. Not today's to-do list, something real. Something you've been meaning to start or do or fix for months, maybe longer. Got it? Now think about where you'd be right now if you started that thing 6 months ago, a year ago. What would be different? What would you have built? What would you have figured out? Who would you be right now if you just started when you first had that thought? Like I said earlier, this channel. I started it back in 2019, right before COVID hit. I have some videos that are still in the drafts that are saved, that I haven't deleted, that are hidden right now. But I started posting back in 2019. Imagine if I kept going then. 7 years ago, I could have been something. I could have been like way bigger than what I have now. But on the bright side, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I started, and I'm proud to keep going. That gap between where you are and where you could be, that's what procrastination is actually costing you. Not just time, but the version of yourself that was supposed to exist by now. And that hits different when you sit with it. Because it's not just about the task, it's about the person you become by doing the things you're supposed to do. Every time you follow through on something, even something small, you're building a relationship with yourself. You're proving to yourself that you can be trusted, that you say something and you do it. And every time you don't, you're quietly chipping away at that trust. And after a while, you stop even believing in your own plans because you know your own track record. That's where a lot of people are living, in a cycle of setting intentions and then breaking them until they stop setting them altogether. We're breaking that cycle today. Okay, so here's what actually works. Start with 2 minutes. Not the whole thing, just 2 minutes. The reason your brain avoids big tasks is because they feel overwhelming. So don't do the task, just start it. Open the document, put on your gym shoes, write the first sentence, make the first move. Because starting is the hardest part, and once you're in it, your brain naturally wants to keep going. 2 minutes almost always turns into 20. Kill the perfect conditions myth. You're never going to feel ready. The timing is never going to be perfect. The mood is never going to be right. Stop waiting for a magical moment of motivation that isn't coming and just do the thing in whatever state you're in right now. Done and imperfect beats perfect and never started every single time. Third, break it into stupid small pieces. If something feels too big to start, it's because you're looking at the whole thing at once. Break it down until it feels almost embarrassingly small. Don't write a script, write one paragraph. Don't clean the whole house, just clean one surface. Don't start a business, just research one thing about it today. Small moves every day build massive results over time. And I can give a personal example with this. For work, when I have a large user story or an activity that I need to do and it has like 15 story points, for example, I break it down into smaller tasks, into very, very simple tasks. Fourth, use the 5-second rule. This is something I've actually used. The moment you have an impulse to do something, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. No thinking. No convincing yourself. Just physical movement before your brain talks you out of it. Because your brain will always find a reason to wait, don't give it the chance. An example of this can be when I went bungee jumping for the first time and I saw the height. I just told myself, you know what, I'm going to be up here all day. Just count to 3, count to 5, go backwards, just jump. Just do it. Fifth, remove the escape routes. Phone in another room, app timers on, notifications off. Whatever pulls you away from the thing you need to do, remove it from reach before you start. You're not strong enough to resist it in the moment. Nobody is. So don't test yourself. Just remove it. Lastly, tell someone. Accountability changes everything. Tell a friend what you're going to do today. Post it publicly. Put it in writing somewhere. The moment another person knows your plan, the stakes go up. You're no longer just letting yourself down, you're letting someone else down too. And that extra pressure is sometimes exactly what you need. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I fixed it, because I haven't. Not completely. I still have days where I know exactly what I need to do and I find every possible way to not do it. I'll clean things I never clean, I'll reorganize stuff that I did that doesn't need reorganizing, I'll watch one more video, play one more game, and tell myself I'll start after this. Growing up, procrastination was just my default. Homework got done last minute if I got done at all. Plans I made for myself never really happened. I'd have an idea, get excited about it for a few days, and then quietly drop it when it got hard or boring. And the worst part is, I thought I was just wired that way. Like some people are just doers and some people aren't, and I was one of the aren'ts. But that's not true, and it took me longer than I'd like to admit to figure that out. The only difference between someone who procrastinates and someone who gets things done is the habit. That's it. Not talent, not motivation, not some special drive they were born with. Just the habit of starting, even when they don't feel like it. And habits are buildable, at any age, starting right now. There's a saying that goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Whatever you've been putting off, it doesn't matter how long you've been avoiding it. It doesn't matter how many times you've told yourself you start and didn't. That's not a life sentence. That's just the past. What matters most is what you do from this moment. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not after this video ends and you've had time to think about it. Right now. Pick the one thing you've been avoiding the most. The thing that's been living rent-free in your head. The thing you feel a little uncomfortable even thinking about right now. Start it today. 2 minutes, one step. Whatever the smallest possible version of beginning looks like, do it. Because the version of you that follows through, that actually does the thing, that's the version you've been waiting to become. Stop putting it off. That was our conversation topic for today. Stay tuned for more. If you enjoyed, like the video and subscribe. We'll chat again soon. Peace.